With Jujutsu Kaisen taking the internet by storm with its crazy fights and amazing animation, just shattering record after record held by itself for having the most amount of people fondle Gojo's balls, getting a nice taste of that sweet forbidden aura juice, and just giving it a big thumbs up on Crunchyroll, it's really easy to get lost in the sauce nowadays and turn a blind eye to other great anime that never really got the opportunity to show its worth, and one of those that I'm talking about is Vampire Homes. And if you hear that and you're wondering what in the hell is that, well, it's greatness to put it simply. So let's take a quick look at the synopsis real quick so we could understand a little bit more about this amazing story. The great detective Holmes does not solve mysteries or use deductive reasoning. He does, however, hunt vampires. He rips them apart and eat their hearts just like how vampires eat humans' hearts. Now, if that synopsis doesn't get your blood flowing, your veins popping, just getting ready to bench press two black holes, then I don't know what will. So let's get right into it. So we first meet a protagonist, Detective Holmes, and his assistant Hudson. Hudson walks over to Holmes' place and accidentally steps on a wild Holmes sleeping on the floor. Wow, way to go, Hudson. Way to be a massive piece of garbage coming into someone's house, calling him a loser for trying to save some extra money by sleeping on the floor. Real nice stuff, buddy. Round of applause for him. Then the two start talking for a little bit, and most people would think that this conversation doesn't really matter all that much. But if you truly listen to them, well, in my case, read the subtitles, you will find out a lot about these characters, like Hudson over here, just from this very short conversation. We learn that the guy is very busy, he's not a procrastinator, he likes to keep things short and concise, he doesn't like wasting time, he's here to get things done. He comes in, bang, bang, bang. He gets straight to the point, no time wasted, amazing. And we also learn more about Holmes himself right here. Still not ready is the food. Truly poetic. Puts tears in my eyes. Holmes is a poet. He's an English major. He's been studying for a pretty, really long time, I must say. He's a very intelligent man. Little information like these are really important to how you enjoy the story. They are really crucial to the plot themselves. So, right off the bat, the two are facing a major problem. They're going bankrupt. So, Holmes decides to take on a case looking out for the two of them, making sure they don't get to sell off their ass virginity to some sketchy dude down the street to put food on the table. He looks on to his dog that looks like it's been injected with an ungodly amount of anesthesia. Its eyes are melting off its face. He gets dragged around for a little bit until he decides to give up and go home. It's the next day. Hudson comes over again, and as he peeks through the keyhole, he sees Holmes trying to impregnate his table, attempting to gain access to the infinite table glitch. Just, another one of his daily activities to be such a competent detective. So, being the hero, Hudson jumps into the scene to save the poor table from this traumatic experience. However, he didn't account for the consequences that would follow for interrupting the horny beast from its feast. Holmes diverts his attention to Hudson and is ready to impregnate him but nothing really happened between the two. They kind of just pre-came their pants, post pre-came clarity hit them hard as hell, and they went to chill on the couch. Then all of a sudden a nightmare figure busts down the door, followed by a bunch of YouTube copyright free green screen effect videos. She's the landlady, and unlike my landlady Nuna, she's on here to give him a notice, but instead a WWE finisher for not paying rent. She straight up broke my boy's neck so he won't be solving mysteries for a while and will also be left confused as to why the landlady moves like that. I don't know what the hell is going on with her. She's moving like an astronaut trying to hold in a massive piece of crab between her ass cheeks. And in the next episode, Holmes' neck is now back to normal. I guess he just left his injury in the previous episode, which makes sense. I mean, who the hell would want a broken neck? And he is now eating cake and he enjoys cake so much he doesn't even chew them. He just stuffs them in his face and brute forces it down his throat. Then the landlady breaks in again. They start hitting JoJo poses and Holmes puts Hudson on the sacrificial seat without his consent and have the landlady enjoy her day with him in exchange for him not paying rent. Shout out Hudson. Prayers out to him. Massive respect. He took one for the team. Doing God's work out here. Great stuff. Now, after we finally deeply understand each character, we can finally see them start doing some real work. Hudson groups up with Holmes as a homeless guy, tries to gun them down. Why? I don't know. Probably because Holmes pissed in his shoe when he was overdosing on a big fat cake as he's walking home one night. No one knows really. Oh my good god, look at that reflex. I didn't even see this happen until I paused the video and came back. Oh my god, I didn't even see it move either. He's too quick. The guy teleports behind Hudson and starts shouting very aggressively, damn near snapping his own jaw off while but Holmes remains calm and collected. He didn't even flinch seeing this witchcraft maneuver. He just stood there staring at him menacingly as his friend is about to get shot in the head because he knows he's in control of the entire situation. He's 5 steps ahead. Whatever others could accomplish in life, Holmes could do the exact same while taking a fat shit. Okay, the show has been great so far. However, I do think it's a little odd that he has a gun to his head instead of a knife to his throat when you know the show takes place in London. But I can overlook that. Great stuff. So the homeless guy uses Hudson as a hostage, but Holmes doesn't care because he has faith. Hudson could pull a Baki and move his brain to the side at the very last moment before the bullet could penetrate his skull. But from what Hudson is saying, I can't say that he has that same faith. So Holmes takes the viewers outside and beats the guy off screen, just splashing shit all over the place. No, I mean, beat him up. I got to make sure I clarify that because with how weird and random the show is, there's really no telling when it was your jerk off scene. So, no, Holmes was not giving him the deluxe hand job, he was mercilessly beating him. And seeing this, most people would go, oh wow, what a lazy, shitty studio, off screening such a peak fight. Well, first off, I don't think this was done by a studio, unless you consider a sketchy basement in the middle of desert with a computer and a cracked CRT monitor a studio, then sure. But they really off screen the fight because what we were about to see was simply too powerful for humanity. We are not ready to join the Holmes Empire. It was simply too much. They had to cut it out for the people's sake. Anyways, Hudson makes his way back to Holmes's place and gets spooked by a dwarf Flash in a white cloak. But turns out it wasn't a dwarf variant of the Flash at all, it's simply a talking cat. The cat's name is Kira, the black cat. Yep, that checks out. Holmes, whatever you do, I suggest you don't open this box. I smell some twisted, fucked up shit coming from its keyhole. Hudson, that's true. It does smell like a wet shoe had sex with a bag of garbage. Oh, fuck, my hand slipped. Box opens. Holmes turns into stuff out of a nightmare, and the landlady busts in saying, no pussycat allowed in here. But luckily, she was talking about the pussycat, otherwise, Hudson would have been kicked out. Then she gets hit by the treasure scent and turns into a cute anime girl, and her facial features turns into Holmes's face. Then she looks over to Hudson, who's now trying to slide into her panties, but seeing him, she damn near pukes and shits herself at the same time. Wow, I really wonder how bad Hudson looks. Please see his face in DVD. You know what? At first I was really praising this anime, but now I just feel like committing a federal crime. Holmes is caught reading a book about two perverted cows fighting to be milked, but tension quickly rises as Holmes tells Hudson not to come to his place tomorrow, claiming he's going for a long walk. However, Hudson still comes over, but only to be greeted by Kira in a dark room with no signs of Holmes. He picks up the book Holmes was reading and finds out it's actually about a vampire. No, a werewolf, and Holmes is secretly investigating this case. Seriousness sets in, and the air thickens as Hudson's every heartbeat echoes louder than the last. It's no longer a hee hee ha ha situation. Things are about to get real dangerous, said Kira. And she adds that he better put his ass on the couch and sit this one out. The music rises as a piece of paper slowly gets blown away by the wind, revealing Holmes' favorite porn actress. A day has passed with no signs of Holmes, not even his fart, until the news reports that a famous unsolvable case for years has finally been solved, and that was the last time we ever heard from the great Detective Holmes. Nope, he's not dead. He's still alive, very much alive, and apparently all the other cases that were brought to him have also been solved, like the twisted box and the werewolf he was looking at, and also the first case he took at the beginning when he was on his dog and suddenly decided to go home. That has also been solved, and that's it. Either Holmes is actually a fraud and has simply been walking his dog, and was coincidentally spotted near the area of these cases at the time they were solved. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Honestly, with these subtitles, I'm clueless 90% of the time. I have no idea what the hell they're talking about, but alright. Final thoughts. The show got a few smiles out of me. Definitely has a few funny moments in there, and honestly, I thought it was going to be way worse. So it definitely went beyond my expectations. So yeah, it's really not as bad as I expected. I'll give it honestly like a solid 2 out of 10. Also, I looked into the voice acting crew, and by crew I mean three people. But the guy who voices Hudson also voices Mahito, Nagi, Baki, and a bunch of other popular anime characters. So isn't this just fucking insane? The guy voices Jujutsu Kaisen fucking takes a block, and once he's done with those, he comes over to this crappy basement and starts voicing Hudson from fucking Vampire Homes. This is just mind blowing to me. I mean, the guy just can't stop winning. He's always in the peak anime. Somebody stop this man, Jesus Christ.
لا يا العباس كرنج. لا يا العباس كرنج.